Alright, let's start this video out by being really honest, right? Latoya Jackson, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson. Those are the most famous Jacksons ever. Tito Jackson, of course, was a part of the Jackson 5s, but he wasn't a standout famous Jackson like all the others. So this morning when we got the news that Michael Jackson's brother, Tito Jackson, had passed away, it wasn't much remorse or oh my gosh in the air as in what happened when Michael Jackson passed away. Now, I don't mean to sound mean when I say this, but what I'm trying to say is people will underplay your greatness while you're alive and then pretend like they had a lot of respect and love for you after you die. When you die is where the respect comes out, right? As if they had bought all your albums and they were lifelong fans. I don't know one person who for the last 10 years can honestly put a comment in this comment section and say, I bought Tito Jackson's 2 albums or 2 last albums. I bought his 2 solo albums. I was at the show. I paid tickets, bought tickets to go see him perform live. But since he is one of the Jacksons and he was for the Jackson 5s and he did pass away, let's get into the story. Tito Jackson, the brother of Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 member, founding member of the Jackson 5, has passed away at the age of 70 years old. According to New York Post, it says that Tito Jackson, a member of the iconic family band, the Jackson 5, and the brother of King of Pop, Michael Jackson, has died. He was 70 years old. Now, everybody wants to know, what's the reason? How did he die? Well, it's been trending lately where people die and nobody tells you right away what the reason is. Apparently, it's different now. It is said that Tito died from an apparent heart attack while driving from New Mexico to Oklahoma on Sunday. Former Jackson family manager Steve Manning told the Entertainment Tonight and other platforms he died from a heart attack. Didn't see it coming. Hit him while he was driving from New Mexico to Oklahoma on Sunday. That's life. You know, you don't necessarily know when your time's coming. I'm sure he didn't wake up that day and think that a heart attack was going to take him out. And a lot of people are probably saying they were rich. They had all that money. He probably didn't go get checked up on a regular basis. Listen, you can't check all the boxes. You will never be able to dot all the I's, cross all the T's, the X's and the O's, and all that. Something you're going to miss. And what's meant for you is just meant for you. We know a lot of people who ate healthy, exercised, and they still got diseases that were supposed to be for people who were long-term smokers or people who drank a lot of alcohol or whatever. Livers fail. Now they need a new kidney, a new liver. That's usually cirrhosis of the liver for people who are heavy alcoholics. Now it's taking out somebody who never drank at all, right? So you don't control this. It's just your time to go, and that's what's going to take you out. Something's going to take all of us out, one by one. We'll get our share of whatever it is that's coming our way. However, an official cause of death has not yet been determined. So, of course, an autopsy has to be done, which is standard procedure. Well, they are Jehovah's Witness, so I don't know if they'll go with the autopsy stuff. But an autopsy should be done, and then cause of death would be determined. The singer and the guitarist's son, Taj, Taro, and TJ confirmed their father's death in an Instagram post on Sunday, saying that they were shocked and they were saddened and they were heartbroken by their father's sudden death. They were actually really close to their father as well, and they themselves are a member of a group called 3T. I remember when 3T first got put together as a group, it was definitely the face of the younger Jackson generation. I don't know what happened to 3T. They blew up and then they disappeared. But here they are. It's with a heavy heart that we announce that our beloved father, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Tito Jackson, is no longer with us. We're shocked, we're saddened, we're heartbroken. His son wrote this on their official page, their R&B group 3T page. Our father was an incredible man, he said, who cared about everyone and their well-being. Some of you may know him as Tito Jackson from the legendary Jackson 5. Some may know him as Coach Tito, or some may simply know him as Papa T. Nevertheless, he will be missed tremendously. It will forever be Tito time for us. Please remember to do what our father always preached that we should do, and that is to love one another. We love you, Pops. Quote, end quote. Born Tariano Adderall Jackson on October 15th, 1953 in Gary, Indiana, Tito was the third of 10 children of Catherine and Joe Jackson, including worldwide superstar Michael Jackson and their famous sister Janet Jackson as well. Now, after seeing his son Tito promising skills as a singer and a guitarist at a very young age, Joe Jackson picked up the family and moved them to California, but that was right after he put together a group comprising of the brothers in 1964, consisting of Tito, Jermaine, and Jackie. As the family music career skyrocketed, they relocated to California and things got a bit more hectic. So the group expanded into what was known as the Jackson Fives in 1966, adding Michael and Marlon to the mix, with Tito filling in the role as the background singer and a guitarist for the family group. You know the whole story, how the father was some people would say he was very cruel. He was very strict about their rehearsal times, about them hitting the notes right, about them getting the choreography right. And some people had a joke back in the day where they said Joe Jackson whooped their ass into superstardom. And, whatever that was worth, we won't even get into that today. But they did become that, as a matter of fact, right? So the group expanded into the Jackson 5 in 1966, and they added Michael and Marlon to the mix, with Tito filling in as their guitarist, backup singer for the group. The Jackson 5 exploded into the mainstream in 1969 when they signed a 7-year deal with Motown Records, and they quickly became the label's #1 act. The band left Motown in 1975. Then they signed to Epic Records, and they were forced to change their names to the Jacksons instead of the Jackson Fives. They changed it to the Jacksons for whatever reason, legal reasons that were. Michael left the band in 1984 after his album Thriller became one of the best-selling albums of all time, winning him 8 Grammy Awards as a solo artist. Needless to say, all the attention got shifted to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson became a world phenomenon. If you were around back in the day, you will remember Michael Jackson just simply had to appear on the stage, and this was before social media and internet and all that, and people would start fainting in waves and had to be carried out on stretchers. So he was no longer that little guy in the front of a group with his brothers. He became such a big star that I think it honestly overshadowed the rest of his brothers and their talent. So the Jackson Fives, who in their heyday in the 70s topped the charts with hits like ABC, I'll Be There, I Want You Back, they were all inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997, every single one of them. Though the Jacksons never officially called it quits, they never really broke up as a band. It was just, eventually Michael took on more of a prominent role as a soloist, so everything kind of like revolved around him. You couldn't see Michael Jackson being Michael Jackson and then being a part of a band, right? So he had to be Michael Jackson, the superstar, the international superstar. And with that said, the rest of the band kind of like went off into doing their own thing. And then Tito, he went on to have a solo career, releasing 2 studio albums, Tito Time in 2016 and Under Your Spell in 2021. How I started this video out is by saying, I'm pretty sure nobody in this comment section can honestly say, oh, I purchased those 2 albums. I was just playing them yesterday. It's probably not a part of anybody's playlist, right? Not to downplay Tito's talent, but just to show you that he wasn't that at the forefront of anybody's music list in recent times. So Tito had been performing with brothers Jackie and Marlon as the Jacksons, and they had shows in Scotland and California, in the UK, over the summer of 2024. Still on the road, still doing shows. Days before his death, a couple of days before his death, he posted on Facebook he was in Munich in Germany on September 11th, where he visited a memorial for Michael Jackson with his brothers while they were on tour in Europe. Still living the life, still touring, still flying, still doing shows. Before our show in Munich, my brothers Jackie, Marlon, and I visited the beautiful memorial that is dedicated to our beloved brother Michael Jackson, he wrote, captioning that with the picture of them sitting by the memorial. We're deeply grateful for this special place that honors not only his memory, but also our shared legacy. Thank you for keeping his spirit alive, he wrote. The brothers were actually scheduled to appear in Atlantic City, in New Jersey, this October 25th, and in Cincinnati, Ohio, November 1st. That will not be happening, or that will not be happening with Tito in it, because Tito has transcended. Well, well, well. All is well that ends well, and all good things must come to an end. He came, he saw, he lived, and, you know, I mean, if you ask me, would you want to go out sick in the hospital? Because a lot of people, end of life is not good. A leg has to be amputated. You're hooked up to breathing machines. You're on medications to stop pain. You know, you're isolated in a hotel room. Tito Jackson actually did what he loved to do his entire life, all the way up until 70 years old. And there he was, having a scenic drive, and a heart attack suddenly checks him out of this world. It wasn't a car accident. His body was not mangled. You know, he was not sick and suffering for a long time. He just went. I honestly can't think of a better way to go. May his soul rest in peace. And for sure, his legacy will live on. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.